Hello, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to listen. First, two stories, about 10 minutes each, and only a little bit frightening. Two stories. One is called Androcles and the Lion, and the other one is called Terry the Shopping Trolley. Yes, a story about a supermarket shopping trolley. But first, Androcles and the Lion. 2,000 years ago, a people called the Romans were in charge of everything, everywhere. Just about everything, everywhere. The Romans. And there were lots of kings around that they were the boss of. And the chief king of all the Romans was called the emperor. And if he liked you, he'd put his thumbs up like this, and he'd give you lots of nice things. But if he didn't like you, he'd put his thumbs down like this. And the Romans had lots and lots of slaves. And the slaves did all the cleaning, cooking, shopping, gardening, everything. And so if you were a Roman and had lots of slaves, it was great for you, but horrible to be a slave in Rome. Once, a very kind slave called Androcles decided he would plan to escape. Decided that he was going to plan to escape. And so for days and days, in a big bag, he put bits of food to help him on his escape from slavery. And one morning, soon after, they sent him out to the market to do the shopping. He was expected back home in about an hour or so. After 4 hours, his master and mistress knew that Androcles had escaped. So right away, they went to the houses, they went to the homes of their friends and neighbours, who of course were all slave owners, to get them help catch Androcles back again. And they had with them, whoa, great big hunting dogs, whoa, to try and find this escaped slave. And Androcles ran away to the woods. Androcles ran away to the woods outside of Rome, where he'd never been before. So of course, he got lost. He got lost in the woods. But as he fell asleep, it felt marvellous. It felt, oh, wonderful to be free. As he fell asleep, he heard an animal and was very afraid. He heard, Aah! He heard, Aah! He heard an animal and was very afraid because he thought that the slave owners were coming after him with their hunting dogs. Well, they were, but in another part of the forest, they were after him. What it was a lion, a real lion. A real lion. And Androcles was a bit afraid, of course, when he saw the lion. But the poor lion could barely walk. It had a big thorn stuck in his foot. He had a thorn stuck in his foot, and the poor lion couldn't hunt. So he hadn't eaten for days. The lion hadn't eaten for days. And Androcles, very kind, picked up the lion's paw and very carefully washed it and cleaned it and helped the lion's paw to get better. And so, of course, the lion and the escaped slave Androcles became very, very good friends. And the lion licked Androcles a lot, just like a big cat. Well, you know, lions are just big cats, aren't they? Yes, lions are big cats. And the lion loved Androcles, and Androcles just loved the lion. But then, of course, poor Androcles was captured by the slave owners. Whoa! And and they put him in a horrible prison. They put poor Androcles, once they caught him, in a horrible prison. And the jailer, the man who looked after the prison and kept everybody looked up, was a horrible man. Horrible, horrible. Androcles, Androcles, you're an escaped slave, you are. You are in dead trouble, and dead you soon will be. Do you know what we do with dead slaves, Androcles? Do you know, with escaped slaves? Do you know what we do with escaped slaves, Androcles? We put them in a place called the Colosseum, which was a bit like a great big sports stadium. Yes, yes, and we put them to fight against wild animals, we do. Yes, yes, that's what we do with people like you, Androcles, escaped slaves. We put them to fight against wild animals. The half-time score is Lions and Tigers 522, escaped slaves 0, nothing. And the following day, it was, as the horrible jailer had said, Andrews was taken to a big building in Rome, which was like a big sports stadium. And there were hundreds and thousands of people there, all waiting to see what had happened. And the emperor was there, in his box, looking down with his crown on. The emperor of Rome was looking at everything that was going on. And Androcles was put in the middle of the ring with everybody looking, and he thought he was in very great trouble. As a wild animal came out, and it was his own lion, and they were on the floor cuddling and playing each other, and of course the lion was licking Androcles, just like a big cat, just like a big cat. And they were so pleased to see each other. And the people watching all this thought it was wonderful. They'd never seen a lion playing with someone like that, just like it was a little kitten. And the emperor of Rome laughed and laughed and thought it was wonderful. And he held up his two thumbs as if to say, yes, yes, I'm very pleased with this. Yes. And the emperor gave Androcles his freedom to be no more a slave. The emperor of Rome gave Androcles his freedom to be no more a slave, and he gave him a lot of money and a nice house with a big garden for the lion to be in. And Androcles and the lion lived happy forever afterwards. And